Welcome back to my show. I'm the Beer Adventurer.
I'm Carissa.
And I've got another Oktoberfest. This is Danke by Soul and Spirits in Memphis. It's their Märzen lager, 5.9. Okay, now I've had quite a few of their beers because it's not that far away from us. They have a really sweet tap house. Yeah, it's got like multiple different rooms and stuff.
There's
and
activities.
Yeah.
There's room for activities.
Right. And so far, I've had pretty great beer from them. Met the owners. They were really cool.
Not as dark as I was expecting a Märzen, but it's darker than a Fest beer, not quite as dark as a Märzen.
I'll give you this one since you're more of a Märzen person over Fest beer. Now, it does have the right color head because there's more in here for me.
It does.
I wanted to get a nice head so folks could see that one. Does have the biscuity smell.
Mm. It does.
Let's see. Is she going to be nice and sweet like a good Märzen?
You'll be a good little Märzen.
I'm freezing down now.
See what you got.
That does not taste Märzen.
Oh,
It tastes Fest beery.
Okay.
Yeah.
That kind of has an in-between a Märzen and a Fest beer. It starts like a Märzen, ends like a Fest beer.
Sure does.
There's a lot less malty, a little more crisp. There is a definite hop note. Let's see if it says anything about it. No. It doesn't. If you are used to a traditional German Märzen, this one is going to have significantly more hops than what you're used to. Is it bad? No. Was it traditional? I don't think so. Enjoyable? I like it. I had another beer that we did this season that I even contacted the brewery because I found conflicting information on the internet, and it just purely said Oktoberfest on the label. And I contacted them, and they told me it was quite literally a cross between the two, which I thought was interesting. This one is giving me a similar vibe. It has some characteristics of a Märzen. It has some characteristics of a Fest beer. I think if you're looking for a traditional Fest beer, you'd be okay with this. I think if you're looking for a traditional Märzen, you're not going to be okay with this one. The hop profile is much more than most traditional Märzens. And I can't actually speak on that from authority, considering I have an enormous Oktoberfest playlist. I'm an Oktoberfest junkie. If it has anything remotely Oktoberfest, I'll buy it. In all honesty, if it just said Oktoberfest, she'd be way more happy with it because she was hoping for a Märzen.
Right.
And this is not traditional Märzen.
No.
I think you'd probably be even more happy with it if it said Fest beer.
At least I would have known what to expect.
Yes.
Because I'm not a hop. Anybody who's watched any of the videos knows I am not a hoppy person.
She is the malt monster.
I prefer a good Märzen over a Fest beer every day of the week.
Understandable. Like I said, I'm not unhappy with it, but I feel like the more experienced beer drinker might be slightly confused by this one.
Mm-hmm.
Reading Märzen and getting a non-traditional Märzen. I'd venture a guess that the IBUs are much higher. But it just really comes down to it has a crisper taste. It's not as sweet, and it has a higher hop profile. I think if you knew that on the get-go, that would be easier for you. But
it really should say Fest beer or just Oktoberfest.
right. But I noticed with a lot of craft breweries, they're putting their spin on it, their twist. That's why there's so many out there, because you can't make everybody happy. I like it.
I don't think it's horrible.
Now, I will say, as a beer, I like it more than I like it as a Märzen. I see it as a riff on the style as opposed to a, for lack of a better term, an accurate representation of the style.
This is too hobby for me.
Understandable. But, I mean, they are a young brewery. And a lot of the microbrews, like I said, tend to do, what they want.
If you like hoppy, you'll love it.
I think if you've had a couple Märzens, or if you're into fest beers, I think you'll dig on this heavy. So just knowing that going in, like, I think honestly, if they just renamed it a fest beer.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. But I would. Yeah, I mean, just right there across the bottom, just fest beer, or just leave off what it is, just Oktoberfest.
Because then they can say it's a mix between the two, but there's not enough malt in there for me. There's way too much hop for me.
Yeah. And I mean, I really like beers from this brewery. Did you see? I give an honest review. Overall, like, judging a beer on a beer, not what the can, but just what's in the glass. It's a decent beer. I think just taking her off from what she expected, taking me off a little bit from what I expected. Remove the expectation. But, well, if you're enjoying the video, the review, hit me with the like. Lets me know you care, and it helps the algorithm. Lets other people know you dig it. If you really liked it, want to see more, hit the subscribe button. Ring the bell. You'll get at least 3 a week. Heck, in Oktoberfest, there's probably going to be more. I've got a bunch of them I got to get out there.
Got to feed them all in 1 month.
So, let's see. I'll see what I can find, put in the description. If nothing else, we'll get where they're at, that kind of stuff. You'll also find my links, social media, merch store, that kind of stuff. Love to talk to you guys about this down there in the comments. If you ever found one of those beers where it says it's one thing, but it's kind of somebody else's style, somebody's take on it. Let's talk about it down there. Is there an Oktoberfest you'd like to see me do? Or would you like to see like one Oktoberfest versus the other? We'll see what we can do. The month's still young. I might be able to find some stuff. Who knows? This might run into September. I don't care.
September? We're going backwards?
I know, all the
We're
way
gonna do
into
it for a
September.
whole year?
Yeah, the whole year.
Oh, okay.
I meant November. That was oops. Whatever. Yeah, the whole next year's all Oktoberfest. That's how many I'm gonna find.
Oh God. I can't drink that many Oktoberfests.
Would if I could. At the end there'll be a link to the Oktoberfest playlist. But let's go ahead and rank it. Did you dig it? I did. Would you have another?
Not really.
I would. Sinkability, it's seasonal.
Yeah.
It's also
And
a regional brew.
Yeah.
You know, they're based out of Memphis. So, you know, if you're in Washington State, I don't know that you're going to go find it. You know,
Come to Memphis on vacation. That's all I can tell you.
who knows? So, let's see. Scale of 1 pint to 10 pints. 1's lowest, 10's the highest.
Oh, I hate doing this. I'll give it a 5.
I'm on 7. I'm honest. Well, okay. If I have to rate it as a margin, it's a 6. If I rate it as a beer, honestly, if I have to rate it as a margin, it's a 5. If I just rate it as the beer, this is Danke from, you know, Soul Spirits. It's a 7. That's the way I am.
Okay.
All right. Hey, honest beer reviews. To your next beer adventure. Prost.